Hello everyone and welcome! Today is a special day because I want to show you the stories of the two greatest characters in League of Legends. So stay a while and listen. Not too long ago, near the Blue Flame Islands, there was a family traveling on a gambling boat. In every city they visited, they opened a gambling house. The citizens were usually not bright, and so the family was able to strip them of their money. A young boy named Tobias was a part of this family. The boy was taught the magic of cards at a very early age, and right after that, he learned what it is to be hated. The family was tolerated for all the exotic goods they were trading, but at the same time, they always found only short welcomes for their strange ways. The elders of the family claimed that is the way of the world, but they refused to fight back because fighting would only bring even worse prejudice. Tobias was never able to accept this way of life. One night, few men that lost their fortune in the gambling house came back for revenge. They used sticks and clubs to beat up everyone. Eventually, they even started using weapons. But Tobias had enough. He picked up one of their clubs and he drove the man back with swift blows. He felt proud that he managed to protect his family, but when he returned to the boat, he couldn't believe his eyes. Everyone turned their back on him. He fought back, and so he violated the code of the river. And there was only one punishment: exile. His whole world started to fall apart around him. He watched helplessly as his family sailed away without him. For the first time in his life, he was alone. But this is Tobias we are talking about. He grew up to a man by drifting from town to town, visiting the gambling dens of every city. Using the mastered skills at cards, he was able to earn coin to survive. He was always careful enough to let his opponents win at least some hands. But even then, not every opponent could take it, and so he had to learn how to fight. One day, Tobias met a fellow called Malcolm Graves. He immediately recognized the talent in Malcolm, and so he joined forces with him. Together, they spent years traveling around the world, earning fortune through criminal activities. Heists were daily routine. No security system was able to stop them, and so they were always looking for a bigger challenge. One of their most successful heists took place in Piltover. They were the only thieves that ever cracked into the Clockwork Vault. Not only did they empty the vault of its treasures, but they tricked the guards into loading it on their hijacked cargo ship. And once they were gone, there was nothing left but a single playing card. But they eventually ran out of luck. Everything went wrong during a heist where Tobias seemingly betrayed Malcolm as he escaped while Malcolm was captured and imprisoned for life. No one really knows what happened that night, for Tobias never talks about it. After everything that has happened, he decided to start from a new beginning. He threw away his old name to accept his new one: Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate returned to his old ways of gambling in every den of every city. Over the time, he earned countless fortunes, but no one can say what he is doing with all the money. Even he got captured from time to time, but no prison was able to hold Twisted Fate. He was always gone by the morning, leaving only a mocking playing card behind. Twisted Fate slowly became a legend among the gambling houses. One of the recent stories about Twisted Fate comes from gambling house called Fortune's Glory. It was the final round and everyone was waiting for the reveal of the last card. Twisted Fate's cards started twitching. They were trying to tell him that he was in danger and that all of this was just a trap. As always, Twisted Fate trusted his cards, but he didn't want to give up on the opportunity to take every single penny from a rich man across the table. His opponent was Henmar, a greedy merchant that earned his fortune from enslaving miners. His clothing was expensive. Freljord furs, hand-tooled leather, and Bilgewater sea charms. A single ring from his finger was worth more than a man would ever see in his life. Twisted Fate nodded. "I believe it's your call, Master Henmar." "I'm aware of the rules, River Rat," said Henmar. "And do not think that your fancy sleight of hand is going to distract me into making an error of judgment." "Distract you? I declare I would never stoop to such a low and dishonorable ruse." "No? Then why is it your eyes keep darting from the table?" said Henmar. "Listen closely. I have negotiated with the best of them, and I know the tell of a desperate man when I see it." "You're sharp, sir, I can see that." Twisted Fate quickly looked around the room. The usual collection of people were watching the game, mostly men and women hoping for whoever wins the game is going to be generous enough to share some of their fortune. Twisted Fate's cards trembled when his eyes fell upon certain individuals. There, a man with an eye patch and a flame-haired woman. They were armed and they knew exactly who Twisted Fate was. If Henmar had bodyguards, he would definitely let everyone know that he is not alone. So Twisted Fate knew they were bounty hunters. "You have a look that tells me that you know you have already lost," said Henmar. "Then what do you say we make it a little more interesting, sir?" replied Twisted Fate, spreading the cards in a fan, watching the hunters east closer. "Care to double down?" "Are you able to cover that much?" asked Henmar suspiciously. "Easily," said Twisted Fate, pulling out a bag of coins. "Can you?" Henmar snapped his fingers and someone behind him handed him a similar bag of coins. "You first," said Henmar. "Always," agreed Twisted Fate, flipping over his cards as the bounty hunters made their move. The man with the eye patch jumped forward, trying to catch Twisted Fate with a capture collar. The woman shouted his name and drew a matching pair of pistols. Twisted Fate kicked the underside of the table, spinning it into the air in a shower of coins, cards and parchment. The pistols fired with deafening roars, blasting fist-sized holes in the table. The capture collar snapped close, but when the smoke cleared and the screams stopped, Twisted Fate was nowhere to be found. Henmar stood up. He furiously searched in vain for his opponent. When he looked back at the remains of the table, color drained from his face. "Where is my money? Where is my money? Twisted Fate!" 5 cards fell face up on the floor. It was the winning hand. Years passed and Twisted Fate found himself in Bilgewater. Why was he there? Money, of course. Bilgewater is a dangerous place, but the payout for his job here was big enough that he couldn't just pass it up. His plan was easy. Get in the main warehouse, steal what he's been asked to, collect his payment, and be gone before the dawn. Easy job for him. As expected, guards were walking around all the entrances to the warehouse. Twisted Fate hid in a dark alley close to the warehouse. He waited for the patrol to pass by. This was his opening. He had 2 minutes before they got back. But he heard the patrol returning earlier. Instead of 2 minutes, he had seconds. He snapped a card from his sleeve and he waved it through his fingers. The pressure built on him, but Twisted Fate stayed focused. He pictured in his mind where he needed to be. In a blink of an eye, he found himself inside the warehouse. "Damn, I'm good." The words of a successful thief. He started looking through the newly shipped cargo. There he found a wooden box. He was definitely sure that's what he was looking for. He opened the lid and there it was. He froze. There was no mistaking what that sound was. TF. It's been a long time. And that's where I have to cut the first part. I really hope you enjoyed the first part of the TF and Graves story. And I really hope you will enjoy the future episodes as well. If you like my content, feel free to comment down below and like the video, because every single like means world to me. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter, Facebook and join me in my chat room on EUS. And as absolutely always, thank you, come again. Hey guys, I just sounded like Dodger, never mind. I wanted to ask all of you guys that stay here, as always, that I made you some Overwatch lore videos because I really fell in love with the Overwatch world, but I'm a bit afraid that I would betray the League of Legends players. And so I want to ask you for your opinion if I should do a second Overwatch series as, like, you know, wherever I have time for that, or if I just should stay and do my League videos. I really appreciate your feedback and your opinion, and thank you for staying here until this very moment.